I made you another board. This is the board where we can take off our pro-genocide marketing hats and put on the real ones where we want to stop it. So I'm going to talk you through who we're talking to in the campaign, what we need to tell them, how we tell them it, and then your role in telling them this thing. First and foremost, the people who we are speaking to are those who have been frightened into silence or are neutral to the situation and believe that is the right course of action. We need to shift them through this funnel from neutrality into awareness of the situation, knowledge of what is happening, and then therefore support. Full disclosure, we do not have $7.1 million to spend on just YouTube ads in 2 weeks. What we do have are two very powerful things. One is you and me and everyone watching this who wants to stop this genocide, which is awesome. The other thing that we have is the most powerful marketing tool, arguably, of all time, which is just the truth. Now, we know we have the truth because the way this neutrality funnel goes, people who garner awareness and then knowledge from their own research always end up supporting Palestine. Nobody ever looks at a genocide and goes, that is the correct thing to do. Yep, that's the only logical conclusion. So you can bet your bottom dollar that we're on the right side of history. We know that previously they've been scared into silence because they've been scared to lose what they've accumulated. Our job is to do the opposite. We want to give them hope. So chances are, if you have a job, you're intelligent enough to hold that job down, which means necessarily you're intelligent enough to suspect that you've been taken for a mug by mainstream media at some point in your life. So we're going to lean into that. And the messaging will be, your hunches are correct. It's not that complex. We understand that the reality of having an opinion sometimes means you will lose your connections and potentially put your status in danger. This is just a matter of fact, so it's very useless to tell them the falsehood that won't happen. So what we will say is the other thing. You will join the global community who is all in solidarity with Palestine. You're afraid to put your reputation and therefore your power at risk because you don't want to say the wrong thing, you don't want to look foolish. What we will tell you that it's never been wrong to stand against war crimes. And here you can see all we've done is we've just used the reality of the situation to reassure these people that what they're going to do is the right thing. This is where you come in. Specifically, I want to speak to you if you have been through the neutrality to awareness to knowledge to support funnel. Your job, quite simply, is to share your truth and how you did this. You can use the framework here, which is called the Feel, Felt and Found framework. I've put an example here of someone who used to believe that the idea was too complex and their silence was a good thing, and this is how they told their story. I understand how you feel. I once felt overwhelmed with information. Once I did my own reading and stopped believing news at face value, I found it wasn't that complex and Palestinians need our support. What this framework does is it acknowledges the reality that some people do feel like this now. It acknowledges that you used to feel this way too, but then it also realizes that there's a light at the other side of the tunnel and actually there is an alternative reality where they can do good. Choose a medium of your choice that suits you most, whether that's a blog post, a LinkedIn, a video, a whiteboard, whatever it is you want, just put it out there. That's your job. The rest of us, our job is to take them through this with some graphics that, again, all they do is they rely on consistent, honest messaging and a very clear call to action. I've given you an idea here of something that relies on awareness and knowledge right down to support. In this example, I've just used 3 little Instagram squares to explain this. Targeting hospitals, schools and churches to kill innocent children is a war crime. Your hunches are correct. It's not complex. The next one says there are no two sides to genocide. Join the global community to end war crimes. You can see how we're using this messaging to reinforce that they can be on the right side of history as soon as they're aware of the reality of what's happening. The last one is a pure call to action to try and garner some vocal support for our cause. And it literally just says, do no harm is not good enough. We have to do active good. Standing against war crimes will always be the right thing to do. So that's the marketing plan. That's an idea of how it works. I can share this on some kind of document on the internet. I'm sure you guys will do magic. We're relying on you, if you have been through this funnel of neutrality, to give hope to the others and to give them the bravery that it took for you to stand up. I understand this is a brave thing to do, to create this, but to be honest with you, that's what this needs. I do know that it is quite ludicrous to find ourselves in the situation where we are defending the opinion that genocide is categorically incorrect, but such are the powers of global media efforts. So it is our job to try and undo that. And the way that we do that is very specifically by talking to those who are remaining neutral.